Hi, I'm Kim. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about unhelpful thinking and how to dissect negative thought spirals. This is a skill that might be really useful if you're thinking stuff like, I'm not good at learning, things are never going to get better, everyone is just really sick of my stuff. You need a way to break out of this thought spiral so you have a chance to make improvements. This exercise today is going to introduce us to the idea of kind of closely examining our negative thoughts, finding some opposite evidence, and attempting to reframe our thinking. A little bit of background to get us started. Who hasn't experienced this kind of negative thinking? It's a common pattern for our thoughts to fall into, and unfortunately, letting our brains go there may actually make things worse. Negative thoughts, also called cognitive distortions or unhelpful thinking patterns, is a concept that comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT examines how our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors affect each other. For example, you can imagine that the thought, I will never succeed at this, might lead to feelings of hopelessness and perhaps behaving like one has given up. It can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. By working on changing our thoughts, we hope to influence our feelings and behaviors. Note, it's good to remember that CBT says any one of these three areas can affect the other two. If you end up finding it hard to change your thoughts right now, we'll explore ways to impact our feelings and behavior in other lessons. Alright, so it may be easy to think of plenty of negative thoughts right now, but for the purpose of this exercise, we're going to tackle a thought with a particular structure. You need a time where you were overwhelmed and maybe jump to an extreme conclusion. Can you remember what you were thinking? I'm definitely gonna fail. They all hate me. These things always go poorly. Feel free to use one of our examples or try something with one of these words. Everyone, nobody, forever, never, or always. Okay, what is it? Feel free to write it down. Now let's get curious. How true does this thought feel to you? 0 to 100. How confident are you that you're right? Also 0 to 100. Okay. Now, let's look a little closer. Is it possible that any of these are happening? You are only giving yourself two options and no middle ground. You are taking a small piece of evidence and basing something pretty large on it. You may be ignoring evidence that is contrary to your point or that you don't like. Or is it possible you had to read someone else's mind or know the future to kind of verify this fact? If one of those are resonating, great, hold on to that. If not, what gave you your confidence number in the first place? Is it possible any of those ideas weren't facts? What could bring your confidence down? What's the likelihood those ideas might occur? Alright, now I need you to use one of those answers to come up with even a small bit of opposing evidence. For example, okay, I might find a middle ground. One person did have something positive to say. I do still have a chance to study. It's okay if this takes a while. Feel free to pause the video, rewind. Alright, now let's do the final reframe. Let's rewrite your original thought, adding in the new evidence. This can be as simple as connecting the two with the word and. How true does this feel now? Again, 0 to 100. How confident are you that you're right? Are you feeling any less upset? Might you change your behavior based on any of this? Why does my brain do this? Because it's easy. Nuanced and rational thought necessarily engages our higher level thinking functions. Automatic thoughts can come quicker in a heightened emotional state where our slower thinking isn't online. And remember when we talked about feelings and behaviors influencing thoughts as well as the other way around? Getting stuck in depressive feelings and behaviors can encourage our thoughts to stay negative. The whole trio just reinforces our state of feeling bad. Moving on, it probably took a while to step through this worksheet. And it doesn't take that long for negative thoughts to form. They're nearly automatic. So doing this can be very difficult. It's important to practice if you want this to work when you need it. And crisis is the wrong time to practice. If you want to access this skill in a negative spiral, intentional practice ahead of time is important. I like practicing this during a slower part of my daily routine, maybe with your morning coffee, on the commute, or as you're having a snack at night. Take some time to think through an extreme thought from the past 24 hours. It might take some experimentation to find a time that works semi-consistently. Thanks, I hope this helped.